9 months after Pensford Field Environmental Trust lease was terminated, the decision we all thought had already been made, to grant a new lease to Dose of Nature, is coming to the Finance Policy and Resources Committee this Wednesday, the 25th of June. In this video, I'm going to take a look through the final one-sided sales pitch, neutral and balanced report published by the Council. We now know that the Council received 190 objections to its proposal, and as far as I can tell, that sets a new record for this type of public notice. Here's a chart of all the Section 123 public notices for disposal of open space land in the past 24 years. There are just 4 of them, in 2002, 2008, 2014 and 2025. You can clearly see how much pushback there has been on the Pensford Field fiasco. The second highest number is 75 letters of objection, and as a result, that proposal ended up being rejected by councillors in 2008. But as I read through this 7-page report, I couldn't help but notice that there were 4 words missing. Pensford Field Environmental Trust. The small environmental charity formed of unpaid volunteers that dared to push back against a hostile takeover has now been erased from history. So let's scroll down and look at the objections and comments section. This table is important but inconvenient, with the majority of respondents, 53.4%, objecting to the Council's proposal. Of course, Dose of Nature knew there would be a large number of objections, which is why they needed to balance it out by soliciting positive support in their newsletters. So then we have a summary of the objection reasons with percentages, followed by a longer summary of the positive comments. And then on the next page, we have an extremely sneaky example of the Council's resident engagement team blatantly omitting the most important data. Look at what the top-ranking theme is.
Support for the work of Dose of Nature. 166 representations. 47% of all representations.
They got this figure by adding 3 responses which were neutral to the 163 responses of support. But we know there were 190 objections received, which means support for the trust. That larger figure is completely missing from this table because it didn't fit with the Council's narrative. In a balanced and accurate report, the top row of the table would actually look like this.
Support for the work of Pensford Field Environmental Trust. 193 representations. 54% of all representations.
Next up is the draft lease, a plan of the site and an updated management plan with only a few years changed in it. The last appendix is a rewritten Equality Impact Needs Assessment, or EINA. You may remember from the Part 1 video that the first EINA from July 2024 says,
Dose of Nature has, over the last 2 years, tried to negotiate with the pest for greater access, but say that rather than access being increased, it has been restricted.
This claim was strongly denied by the Trust, yet it appears to be the only justification for terminating its lease 2.5 years early. 11 months after the first EINA, the rewritten EINA does not contain that line, which means, of course, that the lease termination decision was made using a claim that the Council has since abandoned. I'll let you mull over the obvious problem here. That's all for this update. We will see what happens on Wednesday evening. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you next time.